they seem to be a little clicky in terms of how they play. Like their momentum can take them in and out of games at times, but Notre Dame, when they put it together, very hard to beat.
90 in white for Notre Dame. Sean Light, ACC co-defensive player of the year with Duke's Aiden McGuire. Spallina sandwich, shovels it back to X. Hiltz on the doorstep, puts it through.
Right-handed for Hiltz. Doesn't happen often, but what a start for Syracuse. That was an amazing possession. Owen Hiltz has now scored 55 of the 60 games he's played in his college career. But Syracuse right there, nice flow on offense. Joey Spallina does a nice job catching the ball in traffic, gets it up to Leo, right? Look at the composure, the one-handed pass behind the cage, and then Hiltz comes the backside, moves it to his right hand, his weak hand, but the nice patient finish. Look, this is a Syracuse team. If they get possession, the skill on offense is off the charts. And what I like about what I'm seeing there as we battle here for a ground ball is Joey Spallina making an impact early.
He's got a short stick matchup in Carter Rice. Shot clock dips inside of 10. Kavanaugh, right hand free, shoots. McCool, the ACC goalkeeper of the year with his first save.
He's got a hot hand right now in cage as Syracuse pushes in transition.
They might have a shot here. Billy Dwan, the long pole goal, the 12th of his career, and the Orange with a little early juice.
Syracuse has what appears to be a little bit more energy here early in the game. And I love that for Syracuse. I mean, look, they're 6-on-6. They beat you with off-ball movement and just pure lacrosse skill. If they can add in between the middle of the field some offense in slow break situations and fast break situations, as Dwan fills in nicely. And again, oftentimes that attackman throws it behind X, but Spallina able to see the field and puts the nice pass on Dwan, who bombs it to the top portion of the cage.
If Richmond wins the A-10, if Yale doesn't win the Ivy, Syracuse probably in, even with a loss.
But Spallina's really strong in the off-ball stuff, so I kind of like that matchup for Syracuse because you're taking Notre Dame's best cover man and not letting him use that skill.
15 in blue. English save, Richard Deli. Leo from the wing. Ramsey denies the angle. English behind the cage, Hiltz. Probing against Schwitzenberg. Leo, he's got that first step. He's got that quickness. Roa uncorks and connects.
This is the offense from Syracuse we've been missing in their 3-game losing streak. But man, they're getting whatever they want on offense. Opportunity after opportunity. As we look at Nick Roa, who gets the 3rd goal for Syracuse. But just look at Syracuse offense, right? You have English here off the pipe, another high-quality shot. They back it up. And then again, Leo doing a nice job initiating. Gets to a strong left hand, and now Notre Dame is compromised. And Roa, probably the best outside shooter on Syracuse, hands-free, gonna make you pay all day.
Irish still looking for their first goal. Now Kavanaugh from X, shot clock inside of 20. Kavanaugh probing. 8 to shoot. Kavanaugh turns the corner. That got a piece of McCool, and it is Syracuse ball.
Right, like it's unmatched in college lacrosse. You have Notre Dame football players playing lacrosse, right? Jeffrey is one of those people. And so you're able now to spend some more attention and not have to feel the need to slide because maybe they're not getting as much separation.
Off the turnover, the Irish looking for their first goal. Almost halfway through this opening quarter. Notre Dame has been a slow starter of late. Long dodge by Kavanaugh. Nobody picked him up and he scores. Way too easy for Chris Kavanaugh.
Notre Dame getting an extra possession here. Donovan with the check. causing the turnover. And then they get an offense, and to me right there, just a miscommunication from Syracuse on the defensive end. Way too easy for Kavanaugh to get his hands that open.
Third all-time in points at Notre Dame, behind brother Pat and Randy Colley. And only Randy Colley has scored more goals in an Irish uniform. We get a loose ball push on Syracuse, and it comes with a flag. This was a physical game when they played back in April.
Syracuse, 22 blue, 22 blue, unsportsmanlike conduct, 1 minute, full time.
And look, I don't want to be hyperbolic here, but I think Faison is the key to this Notre Dame team. They need him to create their offense.
That's a shot clock reset off the rebound. McLean couldn't find it. And Figueres gets it to McCool. Syracuse will clear. Clearing, it's been a little hit or miss down the stretch for Syracuse.
And it's one of those things, when I played, however long ago that was, 2 decades ago, clearing wasn't like a problem. But so many teams put so much more emphasis on the riding and the complexity of it.
Wyatt Hoddle's shot turned away, saved Ricciardelli. There's the quick outlet. Notre Dame will run. Buckner leading the charge. Buckner all the way, shoots offline. Kavanaugh the backup.
Absolutely.
So there's an urgency to move. A save by McCool. No, went over. He got a piece of it. Taylor will dig it out. Notre Dame 1 for 9 shooting. The freshman Luke Miller feeding inside. Buzenkill, the quick stick score.
Notre Dame with a nice offensive set. Luke Miller with a nice little face dodge here to his right hand. And the nice touch pass. Buzenkill filling to the back post. Pass a little low, but the pace of it was great. A catchable ball, and Buzenkill, right here, you can see that cut. 3 Syracuse defensemen cutting to the left side.
Notre Dame comes into this game riding a 13-game winning streak in the month of May. Almost 8 goals per game, and when we saw them in the ACC tournament, in the semis, they beat Virginia by 9 and then blasted Duke by 10 on Sunday.
And those scores were generous, right? Like, they were up big early as Syracuse, almost the carbon copy of the Notre Dame goal, counters and gets their 4th of the game.
Luke Roa from Owen Hiltz. And that's 2 for Roa.
But again, you're going to see this here, right? Hiltz, the pick behind, and just the nice subtle backdoor cut. I mean, Will Donovan, right? Like, looked away for a hot second. It's easier said than done.
What makes it so difficult?
Honestly, I think a lot of people now have a lot of whip in their stick. And so when you're actually looking to throw those short passes.
Official took a spill. Here comes McCarthy, second to midfield for the Orange. Anae Schroff, Matt Ward, Dana Boyle. Studio support today, Justin Walters, Jules Henningberg. Outside blast from Cordes, saved. Catapulting out of the cage, Ricciardelli tiptoes the sideline, little Fred Astaire. And now Ramsey the clear. He's the bagpiper, he's the captain. Bullying Hoddle, Ramsey spun around. Tornado's out of trouble, shoots low, McCool the save, and the rebound is in. I think they're going to give that to number 21, Brock Berman. What a sequence.
An interesting sequence. Ramsey, one of the best D-middies in the country, puts himself in trouble. Coach Corrigan doesn't call the timeout. Kind of rolls his way out of the double team. And he's like, oh, I'm going to have my hands open here. And then McCool, who's been lights out so far with the save. But then the nice awareness on that one-timer.
It's like a hockey goal right there.
Yeah, the easy part's putting this in the back of the cage because McCool's on the ground, but to avoid that goal mouth.
Third goal of the season for Brock Behrman. Notre Dame gets the ball off the faceoff. Final 2 minutes. Leo with an assist. English against Alakwa. Spins it to Leo, down the alley, low shot. Richard Deli the save. He's bounced back after a slow start. Top cover guy for Syracuse, now Faison. 15 seconds on the game clock. Short stick matchup for Maharis. Syracuse ball with 6 seconds. On a shot, closest to the ball, where and when it goes out of bounds.
And Maryland, right? Those are the two teams in me that, like, they just get open by ball movement and skill, and, like, that's an understanding of the game and knowing how to pass people open, as Jules said. So I thought they played an awesome first quarter.
Out of bounds to Syracuse, so Mullins 6 of 7 for the Qs. There comes Roa. Spins it to Spolina, going low. Richard Deli for the stop.
And I'd love to see Donovan a little bit more there, bend a little bit more towards the cage. Too much of his momentum was going towards the sideline. That was why he was unable to get the shot on cage and missed near side.
Leo, little careless. Buckner takes it away. They were such a geographic outlier for so long. And now they recruit nationally. They go get whoever they want. The Mendoza Business School has been a great little tentacle to lure in grad transfers. How about Seymour? From long range, we're tied at 4.
Notre Dame ties the game at 4 with Seymour getting his 12th, but it again starts off a turnover from Leo right there. Just kind of looks away to see how much time left on the shot clock, and then Notre Dame makes him pay. Seymour, again, there's that north-south movement I was talking about. You see how he takes this slight bend in right here? You can see he gets his hips going north-south, none of his energy going towards the sideline.
Peyton Anderson, another big kid for the Qs. 6'3", 220 from Hopewell Junction, New York. Outside of Poughkeepsie, Hoddle misses. Campese picks it up, quick outlet. Hagstrom took a hit from behind, tries to get it to Kavanaugh. Loose ball. Figueres cleans.
Quick ball movement to start the offensive sets. Initial dodge, but then it's quick pass after pass after pass, getting Notre Dame spread out and generating better quality opportunities than they have here recently.
Here's Hills, turns the corner and stings.
We'll just do that. But again, Leo this time. Gonna initiate the offense for Syracuse, right? He's got the short stick matchup, and then Hiltz just does a nice job coming near side. Schweitzenberg gets caught sleeping on the back post.
When Gary Gate took over, he harnessed the power of poutine, the Canadians. Hiltz, Finn Thompson, Mullen on the face-off. Make it, take it, turn and rake it.
Mullins, the MVP right now for Syracuse. Dominating possession. Winning face-off after face-off. And on the last one here, does it all himself. Right down the middle of the field with a nice bounce shot. Elevation change, Cuse on a roll.
Dana, we could hear Kevin Corrigan from up here in that last Notre Dame huddle. Are you able to translate what he said?
Yes, I am. He basically was just getting after the guys, like, we're just giving them the ball back on the clear. It's not because we're not being successful in our X and O's passing. We're just getting outworked.
And look, I think Coach Corrigan realized
Way to clean that up really well.
That's not what he said, but the idea, the theme is true, in that he understands how important, if you're not winning faceoffs, to get ground balls and clear the ball. But Syracuse making them pay again.
Peyton Anderson, and it's a 3-0 run after Notre Dame tied this game at 4.
And Coach Corrigan understands that those clears, that if they don't get those and they're not winning the faceoff X, this can get away from them pretty quickly.
And to your point, that's now 5 goals directly on a possession following a faceoff win.
And that's why the 50-50 ground balls and the clears and like the lack of mental errors is so important. Syracuse has scored 3 goals in 21 seconds.
Well, it's winning the middle of the field.
Again, right here, if I'm Syracuse, I'm looking to English here on the far side of the field, matched up against the short stick. And they're sticking to a script. This was clearly their offensive game plan.
Another goal for the Orange. Sam English, 4 unanswered, and it's coming in eye blink.
I mean, Syracuse going after Notre Dame short stick defenseman. And again, look, it's the subtlety of this dodge right here. I mean, Sam English, predominantly right hand. Look, he's going to do the face dodge, and now he fakes a backhanded flip and keeps it to free his hands up. Like, you're going to see it right here in this angle. Look at this subtle movement right there. The backhand pass, the flip pass that he decides not to execute, gets his hands open as a result of it, and then the ball placement to the far post.
So the first 4 Syracuse goals all assisted, the last 4 unassisted.
And Syracuse is, again, Notre Dame, isn't even contesting the wing, right? Like, if you're next to one another, you have a chance at that ground ball, but the face-off X is so clean for Mullen, especially if you're not winning at the X. But again, this is a Notre Dame team that has been down multiple times by 3-4 goals, and then they go and runs, you blink your eye, and all of a sudden they're up. So they've been here. They know, and they know this is going to be a tough matchup.
The freshman, Luke Miller, 2 points in this first half, a goal. They had an assist earlier, and that stops the Syracuse Avalanche.
Luke Miller making an impact here in the ACC Championship. Again, I think on the scouting report, right? Make him go right. And right there, he does a nice job taking that extra step. Gets McCool to come off the post. McCool being a lefty, right? You're going to see this one extra step. Now McCool's going to step off the post, and he comes back near side. Like, people don't understand. Like, it is the extra half step that you may not appreciate.
Many times over the years, we've heard our colleague Ryan Boyle talk about that extra step to increase the angle.
It increases the angle. It also makes the goalie have to make a decision on his body placement in cage.
Notre Dame would not commit to his status on Sunday. Kavanaugh now against Figueres. Inside roll. Kavanaugh twisted. Still hangs on. Multiple flags down. Free possession. Faison. Quick as a hiccup.
Chris Kavanaugh's ability to maintain possession when he put himself into a dangerous offensive situation. Right here, it's this inside roll. He's now going to get double teamed. Obviously a hold on Syracuse. But to keep his feet moving, to run away from pressure, to now you have Faison against a short stick. Game over. And again, look, if Faison is one of the best receivers, right, like in college football, obviously he's very skilled, but I love him getting a little bit more involved with the ball on his stick, initiating.
He's camped out at X. Leo with Ramsey all over him. Bounce shot. Richard Deli down to his knees for the save. Before 4 straight by Syracuse. And Notre Dame has scored the last 2. 6 different goal scores for Notre Dame. Taylor, that was his best look.
And McCool, just a nice job in cage. Comfortable with those short stick matches, but I think Hiltz has definitely gotten the better of it. so far here in Charlotte.
Hiltz looking to go to work on Buckner, holding his ground. Hiltz, little hitch. Running out of an angle, Richard Deli got a piece. Now Richard Deli up ahead to Kavanaugh. Figueres interrupted. Hoddle on the counter. Syracuse can hold for one.
And it's a much easier thing to do as an offensive player is to sit back and see the field and make those passes when you don't have a long stick on you. They're like asking Syracuse, one of the most talented passers, to do it.
Hoddle, another denial by Richard Deli. The Irish have scored on 75% of their shots this quarter. The problem, they've only taken 4 shots. Alakwa with a trailer behind him. Save McCool. And now a whistle.
And I think the refs missed a high hit here on Hoddle. And take a look at it here. Right, he's stepping up the field. It's actually a pretty good hit, if you ask me, not high.
You got Will Gallagher, who's 6'2", 200, and Hoddle is 5'7", listed at 150. It's Lynch and Mullen, statistically 2 of the top 11 in all of Division I. A lot of good face-off men in the ACC. We'll see Brady Wambach from UNC, who might be a first-team All-American when all is said and done. His play, championship weekend, a big reason Notre Dame won that title. Had a terrific year last year. Roa, couple first-half tallies. Now English trying to get free from the All-American Donovan. Bounce shot, save Richard Deli. Quick outlet to Ramsey. Ramsey galloping in. Over to Kavanaugh. One more. McLean. Poetry by the Irish.
Richard Deli for Notre Dame on the defensive end, answering the bell. Again, a good position of the field for English to take that shot, but Richard Deli does a nice job going low and then reading the bounce, and then that ball is out of his stick in a millisecond to create transition for Notre Dame. And right there, they get it to Kavanaugh, where you have to slide out to him. That opens up passing lanes. He throws a skip pass to McLean.
A Notre Dame team that has won 13 in a row in the month of May. Another face-off win by Mullen. Syracuse 15 out of 18 at the X as a team. Light picks up Spallina, ACC's leading scorer, against the ACC's co-defensive player of the year. McCarthy all the way. Body save Richard Deli. Clamps down. Flags up.
To McCarthy again, right here. Keeps it in his left hand. And that,
he's lucky that was only unnecessary roughness. 77 in blue Hilt. His passing becomes lethal in the 6-on-5. Spallina off the crossbar. Off the stick of Thompson. Ramsey again. Looking for the punt return clear.
That's a hold right there.
They're going to get Leo. Ramsey, a one-man tempest. And now Notre Dame with a chance to get to even. Kavanaugh. Irish have never led. 0 and white. Richard Deli has been a man-up assassin. He's the brother of the goalie. Richard Deli's pass knocked down. The man-up offense for Notre Dame this year just has not been remotely close to what it was a year ago.
And right there, they decided to attack Syracuse. Goal line extended and play the two-man game probably in the least dangerous position on the field.
Are they going to get another flag as McCool tried to clear? Now Syracuse with a free possession. Their last 10 shots.
And Syracuse's man up, what's really unique about them is they don't really have a set play. It's just all feel and flow. It's two-man triangles that no other team has run.
How pretty was that? Greg Elijah Brown, 4th goal of his career.
And think about the difference of how that looked versus Notre Dame. Notre Dame kept the ball in one position of the field, banged it back and forth. Syracuse, that ball whipped around from one side to the other, and it's that off-ball movement, right, that gets Notre Dame extending out, opens up the skip lanes, and leads to the easy finish. Like, that's the key on the man up, is to get the ball, attack the opposite side of the field, because then what happens, the defense expands, sticks come down, passing lanes open up.
And the other big injury coming into the game for Notre Dame, ACC Freshman of the Year Matt Jeffrey out. He left last week's game with Penn in a neck brace. That's going to be against Syracuse, so Notre Dame ball. 7 different goal scorers for the Irish. Kavanaugh with a goal and an assist. Angrick inverts Carter Rice. Angrick gets a step, top side, and scores.
A choppy offensive possession for Notre Dame, but Angrick does a nice job getting that ground ball and then the individual effort from behind. And if you were to ask me, you know, who the next 5 minutes is most important to, I really think it's Notre Dame, because they were getting outplayed but were close. And so every extra possession they can get, every opportunity to make Syracuse start to sweat, self-doubt comes into the mind of the Syracuse Orange.
Yeah, and a chance now for Notre Dame. Johnny Racusa at the face-off X for Syracuse after Mullen violated. Now, Matt, you've been through weather delays yourself. What's the challenge when you return to action?
It's hard to get up, you know, for the start of a game twice.
Behrman spins it to McLean, probing from the outside. Kavanaugh back to McLean. Inside, Richard Delly missed it. Richard Delly's the man-up specialist. 21 career EMO goals, 5 this season. And he was shooting 11 of 15 prior to that. Kavanaugh stopped by Jimmy McCool. His outlet pass deflected. Kavanaugh gets it back. Dwan altered the shot, I believe. It'll stay with the Irish. McLean, marked by Hoddle. That's a matchup. They have Hoddle trapped on defense. Kavanaugh, Angrick, lost it. A collision. Bodies flying. Taylor near the sideline, popped into the air. And it's going to be Syracuse ball. But Taylor wanted a loose ball push. Roa, 8 and blue, 2 goals today. Wheels it back to X. Owen Hiltz, checked by Schwitzenberg. Now picked up by the short stick Reinhardt.
And this is a good matchup for Syracuse.
Hiltz tries to get inside, he does! The goal is good, and a flag down. Owen Hiltz with a hat trick.
Great things happen when you dodge hard. This play all starts with Hiltz taking it hard to the cage. Notre Dame switches, he gets matched up against a short stick. Right here, the nice face dodge, steps up the field, the patient finish. Big time goal for Syracuse, up 10-8.
8-7, it was the Heels' first win in Durham since their championship season in 2016. When Syracuse beat Notre Dame in early April, a captain against the All-American Donovan. Now Roa, down the alley, snakes in, Richard Delly steps up for the veto. Championship weekend up in Foxborough. Kavanaugh twirls away from trouble. Here's a chance, bounce shot Maharis. Rebound knocked into the air. Taylor has it. Dwan lost his helmet.
Right, you're going to see Kavanaugh taking a shot here behind the cage. They get the save. And now you're going to see Dwan lose his helmet, right? So to me, right, what's to stop you from just taking your helmet off of your defense to do that?
6 on 4 here, a chance for the Irish. Down 2. Kavanaugh up top. Over to McLean. McCool. That is a gigantic save. Notre Dame with a 2-man advantage. You were asking for it.
It was different, right? They had that true quarterback in Pat Kavanaugh. Then you had Chris Kavanaugh in the danger zone as a shooter. And they just don't have, they're asking Chris to kind of play that quarterback role, and that's not his strength. The Syracuse makes him pay.
Finn Thompson off the feed from Leo. Talk about a pendulum swing. Missed opportunity for the Irish with a 2-man advantage. Syracuse capitalizes on the other end.
Again, Syracuse, a nice job on the 6-on-4, really packing it in, making them take that outside shot. You trust the ACC goalie of the year in McCool. And then right here, Leo, just a nice job getting to the middle of the field and becoming dangerous, right? Ramsey lets him to his strong left hand. Now you have a lot of eyes drawn to Leo sliding up the field, and Thompson steps off the back door and the quick release. Right, it's kind of been like that, I thought Syracuse should have been up big at halftime as they push here with 7 seconds left of the shot clock.
Anderson gets sandwiched. Gallagher off the ground. Final 10 ticks.
And Hiltz, nice.
Hiltz, yard sale. Flag down. And we get a little bit of carnage to close the third quarter. Jake Taylor, a little bit of an elbow. Remember, Syracuse got real physical with Taylor in the first meeting. And now the officials get in.
And let's take a look here again at the end of the quarter. It all starts with Hiltz, the attackman, running back on defense and causing the turnover. And there it is. It wasn't as bad. It was Taylor going for a ball. There's a trip there. A different story. It was a high hit, unreleasable.
Hiltz, dangerous on the man up.
Again, you could just see the constant triangle offense from Syracuse, just working two sides of the three-man game.
And it's Spallina to Elijah Brown. That's the second time with the extra man those two have connected.
And it looks different. It looks like they're throwing and passing the ball with more intention than what we've seen from the Fighting Irish. But again, they just run two triangles on either side. It's a bunch of carrying and filling in the backside. Right, you can see this right-sided triangle over here. When they pass the ball over, you can see Finn Thompson kind of carry. And now you have the wide open Elijah Brown getting his second of the game from the exact same spot.
Yeah, undisciplined from Notre Dame that led to that goal. Jake Taylor still watches from the sidelines. Coach Corrigan, very unhappy, would not allow him to go in that huddle in between the third and fourth quarter. Said you don't deserve to be in the huddle if you're going to retaliate like that as a veteran leader out there on the field.
Yeah, wow.
I don't disagree with him.
Senior captain. Now, the Irish of late have had these lapses, scoring droughts, but we've also seen, Matt, that when they turn it on, their blitz is real. Kavanaugh, that one got a piece of McCool. Faison, step down. McCool read it all the way.
And McCool doing a great job being offensive as a goalkeeper, stepping out, meeting the shooters. He's not sitting on the goal line.
Now picked up by Dwan on the switch.
Nice defense from Syracuse.
Ramsey poked away. Ball is loose. Shot clock at 12. Ramsey gets it back, bounces it too high. Did McCool get a piece of it? He did, and that'll reset the shot clock to 60. Kevin Corrigan puts his hands up. Ramsey will run off. By Harris. Joins the midfield trio. Faison lost it.
Faison trying to fight Town Hall. Getting to the middle of the field.
We get another shot clock reset to 60. Scoring drought for the Irish, now 16 and a half minutes. McClain, doorstep, Rifter Deli, quick stick score. Is that the goal that sparks an Irish comeback?
A long possession for the Irish, got a couple loose balls. 50-50 ground balls coming up for the Irish. And they get their first goal in some time on that nice feed, and Richard Deli, backdoor cut, gets the Irish within 3. Look, I understand sending the message as a coach, but it's also one of your leaders. Like, I love him on the field.
Sixth-year senior. English, doorstep, Hiltz stings the top shelf. 4 goals for Owen Hiltz. We've
talked a lot about Hiltz today and his ability to initiate more so than what we've seen throughout the season. This is what we're accustomed to. The lefty can absolutely sling the rock. Look, I love the angle we're going to see here. The skip pass from English, the look away from English, and then look at that accuracy, low to high, near side. Hiltz ran all the way down on that ride and caused the turnover. Like, he's doing things that he gets questioned at times, like, can he be that person? And he's answering that tonight.
And that was what led to the Jake Taylor penalty. Syracuse scored on the ensuing possession at the start of the fourth quarter. Now let's see if Notre Dame goes into the ride. They bring pressure. A big ground ball here. 13-9 Cuse. They beat the Irish at the Dome 14-9. Flag down.
When offensive, the man up, right? Like, you have your core unit, you have set plays, like, you got to get your best players in there. Maybe this is Dorr back into the field for the rest of this half, but again, for Notre Dame, just that right there is even holding the ball too long. You need the ball moving quickly and make the defense rotate. Syracuse's defensive players have not moved. They've all stayed in their exact same spot, and you're taking outside shots. Like, you can generate better quality shots by moving the ball quickly, changing the side of attack, and rotating sets.
They feed inside to Taylor. He has it dislodged.
And that's fool's gold.
McCool falls down, double teamed, trying to escape. Loose ball on the ground. McCool's out of the cage. Taylor, save McCool! Two Irish players get tangled up with each other. It'll stay with Notre Dame. So far, the Irish 0 for 4 on the extra man. McLean. McCool is there again.
McLean think that went.
Thought it went in. Kavanaugh, pass gets away. 4.5 to go. And Notre Dame, Matt, they've had their opportunities with these EMOs.
This here.
We may get a red flag. Kevin Corrigan's going to throw. At this point, nothing to lose.
One more look here. No, it was outside.
For the selection committee, there is nothing in the criteria that says eye test. Shot clock at 3, at 2, Thompson between the legs, save Richard Deli. Ramsey triple teamed, puts it on the ground, Campese picks it up, shovels it back to Donovan.
This is a different Syracuse team that I've seen any game all year. Not like offensively, they've had games like, but man, like in the middle of the field, the compete level, the physicality of what they brought to this field today.
McCool got a piece of that one, looked like a pass. Faison gets it back, shoots. Well, let's see what the ruling is here. In the crease, Notre Dame. Yeah, Matt, the two games against Notre Dame have been arguably Syracuse's best two performances of the season when you factor in the opponent. They've been physical. Defensively, they've done their job. That's going to go back the other way. Ronan Doherty, the cause turnover. 18 saves for McCool, but he won't stop Chris Kavanaugh. Not over yet, 13-10, 2:19 to go. And there's a man down for the Cuse.
Kind of a chaotic sequence there. Really, Notre Dame's best offense has come in transition off of caused turnovers in the ride, ground balls, picking the ball up quickly and attacking the opposite direction. Right here, like Kavanaugh, the low to high finish near side. And Notre Dame's made a change here late in the game. They're double polling at the midfield line, trying to contest on those ground balls. But, you know, the answer to that is win it directly to yourself.
Mullen has been sensational tonight. 19 out of 23. So Syracuse, after losing 7 in a row to Notre Dame, are looking at a second straight win over the Irish. Timeout Syracuse, 1:59 left. And now you're watching what Jimmy McCool can do.
Yeah, what's it say? Like you have 2 goalies, you don't have 1, but clearly not the case.
Hiltz into the empty net right off the restart. He didn't waste any time. That's his 5th goal. Matt, that tells me they have faith in John Mullen at the faceoff X.
Yeah. You know, Notre Dame knowing with under 2 minutes here that they need to cause some chaos and turnovers. They start with the double team right off the dead ball window. Now you're in a very vulnerable position there, right? To double team in front of the cage. But again, that's why you call a timeout where you do, because it makes it very hard for the defense to apply that type of pressure.
But if you got a guy who's winning 40% at the X, that's not the play. Mullen wins it for Syracuse. You're allowed to go over and back in the first 20 seconds of the shot clock. Syracuse, though, turns it over after winning the faceoff. McCool got a piece, and it's Syracuse ball. A 4-goal lead with a minute to go. And Syracuse will secure a place in the ACC championship game. Richard Delly got back to the cage to fish that one out. Duke, North Carolina, ACC Semi Final number 2. Maharis with 40 seconds. Alakwa, Ramsey. Maharis pushed from behind. They say loose ball push. And now it's getting chippy. Ochoa and Kavanaugh exchange a couple of shoves. Flags down. Jimmy McCool doing it all, playing peacemaker now.
We have 4 fouls on the play. We have blue 7 with the cross check. It's a personal foul for 1 minute. We have blue 26 with a push, technical foul, 30 seconds. We have unsportsmanlike conduct on 50 from both teams. 1 minute, non-releasable. It's going to be white ball. This way.
How often do you see officials have to have a piece of paper in front of them as they read off every infraction committed? Right there, that's the play that starts it all. Chris Kavanaugh not afraid to...
Yeah, Ochoa the first one. Kavanaugh gives it right back.
And so I think you're going to have a 6-on-3 or a 5-on-3 potentially here.
Five on 3. Notre Dame 0 for 5 with the extra man today. And that includes a missed opportunity with a 2-man advantage. McLean, step down. Irish get one back, 14-11. That didn't take a lot of time. 28 seconds to go.
And so one of those penalties should be releasable, maybe 2 for Syracuse. I think you may be now, you're going to be all even here, 5-on-5. I mean, think about that too, right? So 14-11, McCool has 19 saves. I mean, McCool has an off game, an average game, right?
Could be a different story.
Now look, credit Syracuse's defense for forcing, I think, Notre Dame into maybe not their normal quality of shot, but they still generated a lot of offensive opportunities with very few possessions.
So Syracuse doesn't have a wing here. Ramsey able to win this for the Irish. A chance to make it a 2-goal game. Ramsey, low shot, save number 20 for Jimmy McCool, but there is a flag.
I'm still not sure why Syracuse has 3 people in the box.
18.8 seconds remaining.
30 seconds.
We're going to get an offsides now on Syracuse.
5-on-2.
You can't. But you can't because you have to have somebody on the defensive half of the field.
He never went across the line.
Yes, he did. That's why I
It's a
threw the
loose
flag.
ball. It shouldn't be a penalty then, right?
But why were those Syracuse penalties outside
It's a loose ball. It shouldn't be a penalty.
the 50s kind of, getting the unreleasable penalties? Those other ones were a push in the back, and I'm not sure why those are non-releasable penalties.
Stranger things have happened. Behrman, McLean. It'll stay with Notre Dame. 11 seconds left. Syracuse still has 3 guys in the box.
4.
And that's a shot and a score from Angrick. 7.8 seconds to go. 14-12. Now the Syracuse coaches are trying to figure out the personnel situation.
So the offsides has to be released. I'm very confused.
Right, the offsides penalty should be released.
But why was the push in the back that was the first penalty there not released? I think there was only one unsportsmanlike penalty per team.
Boy, this could get real interesting if Notre Dame scores a goal here very quickly. So, Mullen able to win the faceoff. And this should do it. So, a little bit of a chaotic, messy ending. But Syracuse holds on for a 14-12 win.